Hello there. It's Mike.
And Katie.
And that's right, we're coming at you with episode 134. And what are we talking about today, Katie?
Things.
It's Father's Day. Rewind on this week of Cup of Rad. Hey everyone. So this is like our flashback to Father's Day episode. It was a Father's Day movies or Father's Day shenanigans.
We're a couple days later and I totally forgot about it already.
So
I'm awesome.
So sorry we're late this week. Just life
I'm in one
didn't find a way.
I'm in one big blur right now.
So so hopefully y'all had a good last weekend and you're rolling into this next weekend. So
summer's officially here.
Summer hit with vengeance. Decided to bake our beans.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So
it's melting our brain. We're going to blame it on that.
Yep. Total brain melt. Total brain melt. It's the end of the school year. It's the start of summer. It's just, crazy. So,
but on that note, we were like, oh, I don't know if we have a lot to talk about. So no. And then Mike made a list and we're like, oh my goodness, we need to record now.
True. So, this is a funny story I wanted to tell. School's ending and I was in class there, and the one student comes up to me and says, because it was warm and I had my mask down because we were outside, was on a farm, so lots of social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me and goes, has anyone ever told you kind of look like Jake Gyllenhaal? And there was the pause because I looked at him and said, well, actually, yes. I get it a lot, surprisingly. I even remember when we were at Disneyland and one of the cast members was like, are you Jake Gyllenhaal? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, that's something Jake Gyllenhaal would say. I was like, probably no, he wouldn't. He's like, no, I think you his brother. I'm like, no, dude, no, no relation. Are you sure about that?
Are you telling me that you could have pulled the I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal card and gotten us something?
Maybe.
I mean, dude, why are we not taking advantage of that? I don't think the guy at the
popcorn stand could have gotten us much.
To do that, but you never know.
But popcorn.
I don't know. Free popcorn because someone thinks that I was Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, that would be a fun story too.
Oh yeah, I guess. Apparently, I blew it. I guess it's like.
You know what? No, it's actually funny because he probably was convinced you were actually lying.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll just leave it at that.
Right. It's like the Ghostbuster moment. When someone asks you if you're God, you say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be like, well, actually,
mm-hmm.
I am. So that was my fun moment of it all. So I had to share that.
That's
one.
hilarious.
It was pretty good. So Father's Day was pretty good. I did what I wanted to do. Absolutely nothing. Everyone was all like, so what are you doing this weekend? You gonna go do something? I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit in my pajamas and stare at the ceiling. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a mask on and go anywhere.
He did cook because he's the cook, but at least that he didn't have any dishes due.
But I was relaxed. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be relaxed. I didn't want to go doing things.
That's why I told Kiddo the best present you can give him was being nice to him. And
doing the dishes for me.
Yeah, those are the big things for him right there.
But so he's
an easy man.
Fine and fine family showed up with some toys for my Father's Day celebration. That's right, I got the McFarlane John Stewart Green Lantern from the DC Multiverse, and I'm loving it because he's got his giant gun.
Yeah, that was the selling feature for me. I was like, he has a huge gun.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I've got to get some photos of that. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I'm really excited to do that because, he's got the big Gatling gun.
It's pretty sweet.
That was really cool. And the articulation's kind of neat. They did a few different things on it, which was a little bit of a surprise. They didn't use the diaper kind of like they've used on Nightwing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They used an extra added piece over top. So it's a little different, but it's pretty cool. I'm really excited because John Stewart's my Green Lantern more than Hal Jordan.
Well, because I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Green Lantern, when I think of Green Lantern, even for me, because of the Justice League cartoon, it was like, oh, no, it should be John Stewart. So, it made sense to get that as a figure for you. And
Yeah, well, those are the Justice League, memories we had. We watched Justice League together, Justice League Unlimited. Like, we sat back and we were first dating and watched all that stuff.
Yep. It's good memories, man. It was like epic. It's like, oh, dude, Justice League is on.
Right? So, that was pretty cool. And then we got the Bad Batch. We got Hunter. They got me Hunter. Because he's my little Star Wars Rambo dude.
Yeah.
And he's a little gummier than I was expecting in the plastic, but I'm still really enjoying it. I think it's really cool.
I think for me, it's strange to see how smooth he is because, we're so used to more of a clothing or something like that. But it makes sense that he's smooth because it's armor.
Yeah.
But it's strange because...
Well, it's also textured in the cartoon as well, right?
So that's my only thing with that one. It's
I buy very few Star Wars figures, so when a Star Wars figure enters the fold, it's something special.
Yeah. Well, you really like the character, so it makes sense.
He's the most human out of all the clones.
And he looks like him, so...
Yeah, right?
How could you go wrong?
That was the selling feature, so hopefully I'll get some outdoor time. It was all the
bandana. Yes. That's what he bought it for.
It was all the bandana. Yo. If only he says that at one point in the series. I just want him to say yo.
Yeah.
Or like he gets in the comm and just goes, I'm coming for you. Like... I'll be happy. Like, okay, well, the last episode, Crosshairs, they had a reunion with Crosshairs.
Yeah.
Right? And they got into the thick of things in episode 8, right?
Well, Dave Filoni is an age that would make sense.
Yeah,
So
and
you never know if he's actually thinking, how can I do this?
Right? Well, that idea where they've made Crosshairs like even more angry at them because he got burned up, right? So later on in the series, and Omega's taken, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna.
Things got intense, man.
Yeah, it got intense. That was Bane showed back up.
Yeah.
That was it was like a really cool moment because it was like super artistic Western, and then it like went right into like first person video game.
Yeah.
Which was a weird like switch, but it surprisingly worked really well.
Yeah.
Right. So. But yeah, that's what I want. I wanted to like get on a comm and like muddy and just like. Crosshairs, I'm coming for you. And then like a bow and arrow.
Nice.
That's what I want.
You pick up Omega's weapon or something.
Yeah. All right.
I really liked
knife in his teeth.
How they tried to the whole scene with the engines firing up and them trying to get out of it, and then how they tried to solve it, and then how it kind of helped them even more than they thought it would be.
Yeah.
With it backfiring on the troopers, that it was pretty intense. We don't even think about like what it would look like looking up one of those the engine exhaust or whatever, right? And so that was interesting.
Yeah, that's
different
totally.
take, right?
That was a good episode, though.
Yeah,
that was a really good episode. Lots of Disney this week, eh? So like. Loki episode 2 came out. We actually got to see Loki in the field. What are your thoughts on Loki so far?
I'm really interested in it. I love you never know if he's actually trying to be good or bad. And I love that anticipation of it because you really don't know. And now too, because it's a different Loki than we've ended the movie series with.
Yeah.
It's like that Loki hasn't learned yet to be a little bit more compassionate, and so it's interesting with that. And I liked him I liked how it was the idea like, well, if I put you on something that you need to be proven right, like you'll use his flaws and ego against him idea to get what he wants to manipulate him. And so I thought that was interesting. I'm not 100% sure on how I like the villain with it, but I don't know anything. I have no reason to feel bad, like upset with it or anything. Like, yeah, like I don't know her at all, right? So it's interesting.
Well, it'd be interesting to know that they've already said at some point someone might let slip an interview that it'll also be Kid Loki.
Oh,
so
really?
I think they're gonna realize that it's probably a multiverse.
That would be kind
the
of
linchpin.
Yeah, interesting idea with that. Like I don't know if things wrong with it. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it at the same time it is kind of cool that it's not just another version of him.
No, it is another version of
Well,
him, but it's not just Tom Hiddleston
Tom
playing.
Hiddleston like it, right? You know, it's not. It doesn't look like him like that. It's a different incarnation of him, and I mean, it makes sense with in mythology. Loki has taken many forms: animal, human, you know, any gender, everything like that, and so he's very fluid in his presentation of himself, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm curious to see how, you know, his plan with the Time Lords or whatever they're called. Timekeepers. You know, that definitely feels, you know, all sorts of when anyone has, you know, cloistered away and has to try to keep power, and then you also don't know who they are and you can't see them, and they're supposed to be, you know, just in the background, but you're just supposed to listen to them. Like, it's just rife with
pay attention to them, not the man
problems
behind the mirror.
Right? Just, it's like that.
The curtain or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
The curtain. Yeah. So what about you?
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a kick out of it. It's exciting, you know. It's coming up. Episode 3 we're not far from it. Like, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow already.
So, or today when you're listening to it, or it was 3 weeks ago, depending on when you listen to this episode. So, you know, I'm enjoying it.
I liked when the other Loki was moving between people, and so it was fun cinematic wise to be able to see him, you know, fighting and talking all these different people and having to be the same. Like, that was interesting. So
it feels like it's gonna be a fast series as much as, like, I think it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna, like, whiz by totally. So no, I'm excited for the next one. Marvel, I think, is doing really good with their movies. Really grabbing my attention.
Movies
and enjoying.
TV series.
They're movies. They're really long movies.
They're really long, broken into chapters movies.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, totally. So Owl House came back.
Yes.
And we've always been a fan of Owl House. Season 2 started. Yeah, it's good. Mm-hmm. You know, not much I can really say about this one.
It was kind of, it took me a moment. I probably almost should have watched the last episode because I had a hard time remembering what had happened. It had been so long feeling.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, I picked it up. I'm like, okay, kind of piece it back together for things, right? But it also, of course, enough of it has changed between them,
there's
right?
a time jump. They've had a tiny time jump, but... But I definitely think it's something that, you know, if you want quirky weirdness, it's well done.
I love King. He was in a bird cage, and it was, as soon as it was open, he was awake and spinning around and freaking out. Then he closed it, and he was asleep and snoring, and then awake and screaming, and then asleep and snoring. Yeah, like, it was so funny. He's hilarious. Good stuff. Yeah.
So Owl House is back. If you haven't watched it, it's on Disney Plus, season 1. Yes. So definitely worth checking that out for sure. We hit up something else. We hit up something brand new on Disney Plus. This one was not a premiere access. It was just originally a theatrical release, but they decided to throw it on Disney Plus for whatever reason. It was the new Disney Pixar. Notice that all the Pixar ones have not been premium pay. Onward, Soul, and now
that's very
Luca. Mm-hmm. So, Luca is the story of sea people. They look like sea monkey mermaids. That when they come on land, they turn human. And the one boy runs away, basically, and finds another boy that's a sea monkey person. And then...
He doesn't run away at first. He gets thrown, like,
they become friends.
And, you know, tricked onto land. He had no idea that he would turn to human, and he's just following this kid. And then this one lives up on an island. Yeah. And he lives up there. So it takes place off the shores in Italy. Yeah. So... and then, then it's the idea of being interested in it and becoming friends and learning that it's not so horrible up here and...
Yeah, friendship and all that. So the whole baseline of the movie is puberty. Yes. And finding new friends that maybe aren't the friends your parents want you to have. And the good, the positives and the negatives. And finding in your own person within that. So it is solely it's a coming of age puberty movie. Yeah. Again, that's totally with the idea of the it's the reverse. Instead of someone going to the ocean and becoming a monster, it's the monster supposedly becoming,
I love how they
human, right?
they changed and they're like, oh my god, it looks so ugly.
Yeah.
And they're looking at their human form, right? And it was quite funny.
So, I was never really excited to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Only because the trailers were kind of meh, right? And at the end of it, I'm sad to say that I still was kind of meh.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't show us anything in the second half of the movie in the trailers, which they should have, and then reserved all the humor that was from the trailers that is only in the first half of the movie, because there's like no humor in the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
It goes from being kind of this cute, funny little thing, but we've seen all that humor because if you watched one trailer, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
And then it gets kind of dramatic.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
Yeah.
Right? It's a cute movie. It has some cool style to it, but it never grabbed me.
It's got a good message. Like, it's not a bad movie, but it was just a basic movie.
Yeah.
It was very simple. Like, as much as, I talked about the idea of growing up, but there's not, I love the Disney and the Pixar movies that can actually really speak to every age. And this one didn't have as much to speak to me about.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a bit of the idea of letting your kid grow up a little bit more. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the focus at all of the movie. So it just, like, I liked the girl's dad. I think I almost liked him and his reaction to them the most.
Oh, yeah.
I think that little moment was the best, emotional connection to it.
The guy that doesn't really talk.
Yeah. But, it's just kind of there.
Yeah. It was very, very...
I'm glad I didn't pay for it. Let's be honest. That's how I feel.
It's very stereotypical, especially when it came to Luca's dad. He was a typical dumb, absent-minded, animated father.
That is one of Mike's pet peeves. Understandably, not a problem.
Well, you know what?
But it is Mike's pet peeve to have the stupid, dumb
Mitchell's
dads.
and the Machines. The dad is not super dumb, not super smart in his own way, but he proves that he's useful. Even though he's ridiculous and he's weird and quirky, he still proves that he's useful. Yeah. Luca's father doesn't at any point. He's just a bumbling sidekick. Yeah. Right? So...
He's not like he even really tries to help calm the mom down or be a rock for her or anything like that. Yeah, no, I agree.
And then it's just... Yeah. There wasn't enough there. I would never watch the movie again. Yeah. Like, I have no desire.
Well, there's no need to enough, right? Because
like, it's in the bottom of the barrel Pixar for sure. Like,
well, because there wasn't enough humor in it and enough, enough consistent heart in it, really, of a story, right? And I mean, and I have been a known crier lately on any emotional movies. And for the fact that I only kind of slightly welled up for a moment at the end, and then I was just like, oh, I'm done. Yeah, there was not enough of that emotional connection because I cry pretty damn easily now.
Yeah. You know what? It actually is really saddening me to notice that a lot of the new movies that were supposed to have hit theaters through this COVID time, they got pushed back and now that are popping up on demand and all that, there hasn't been a lot that I've been like, yes, oh my goodness. Yeah. Like Mitchell's and the Machines has been the only one that I really was like, I like this movie. Like, I would have paid to see that movie. Yeah. And been okay that I paid to see that movie.
Yeah. Well, I would watch it again. Yeah. No problem.
But like, I sit back and I go, Kong vs. Godzilla had cool moments, but was like kind of... Justice League, actually, out of everything, believe it or not, the remake, the recut footage is the most I've enjoyed a Hollywood, which should have been released to, but that wasn't even made to come to theaters. That was supposed to come to streaming. Right? So...
Have we just gotten pickier because we had to let go of things? Just curious.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think I understand.
We've just been watching old movies.
Yeah, so maybe that's where we've gotten pickier. Is we're feeling nostalgic. We're like, they don't make them like they used to.
I don't know, but nothing's like blown away. Like I'm hoping next month, Widow will.
Yeah.
Right? I still have high hopes for Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that.
I don't know how we're going to get to see it. Theaters are opening.
Theaters are open.
They're saying it's going to be, theaters going directly to theaters now.
Yes, theaters are open here, and they're only going to get better. So
that's one of the problems, though. That's one of the things I was excited for. It's great that theaters are opening and all that, but damn, did I ever enjoy being able to watch, even though they were not the best, at home, because we could watch it on our schedule.
I don't know if has he told you this enough yet?
Watch it on our schedule. We didn't have to worry about kiddo.
I know.
We didn't have to try to find, a way to, I'd seen that one comic, right? And the guy was all excited to go back to the theater. He was all like, finally get to go to the theater. And he's like, and then he came out and he was just like, why did we do this?
I'm so excited for the people on their phones and the people talking and the kids screaming and the mess and the broken everything.
Yeah. And it was like, he was 100% legit. What he was talking about was like, that was the experience. Like, he was like, literally like, I don't ever want to go back to the theater after what I experienced. And like, that didn't make me excited to go back to the theater, right?
Well, because it's hard too, because then is people, I never understood how people want to spend so much money to go to the theater and make a waste of time. Yeah. It just seems like such wasted money. But now I'm afraid that people will do it just because they want something to do outside of the house, right? So it's not going to make it any better. No. They're not going to be like the people who really want to be there.
Look how much kiddo is taken to now talking during movies.
Oh my God, it's driving me nuts.
Right? Like he was
talking so much through Luca, and I was having a really hard time being like, dude, you need to, and even I know we're talking a little bit more too, but he was just saying every little thing that came to mind, and he was really good about being quiet during movies.
Yeah, and he's gotten to the point where he wants to, so
he has to say something for everything. Anyway, so that was that boiled up a little bit of frustration. I don't know. What's streaming? I don't know. Luca just led into like,
oh, I don't want to go back to theaters. So we might not do many new movies because I don't with how movies have been, the ones that were supposed to have been in theaters. Yeah. And they have not really, there hasn't been one that I've been like, I would pay to see that again, or I would buy that, or like I don't know if I want to go back to spending more money to go to experience that isn't great because we were already having a hard time. So we might become a nostalgia podcast where it's just more oldies.
Not become, keep being.
Yeah. Banging out the classics since 1969.
So we did actually watch some more old movies again this weekend. Because, well, we had to, but...
Well, we were gonna watch something. We were trying to find something. We got kind of like,
it was a little bit lost. We're like, well, because we went to go watch the Mr. I'm gonna call
Johnny
him
English.
Johnny English, and we had been watching it on there, and
it was like literally last week. It was on Netflix,
and we're like, yeah, we're gonna watch it, and we go on there, and we can't. It's not there anymore. Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Yeah. So then Kiddo was like, well, there was that movie that we wanted to watch. So he picked the movie we watched on Friday night. He picked Shanghai Noon. So the old Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson movie. Written by the guys that did Smallville.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought I saw his name up there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the idea that the... princess from China gets kidnapped.
Well, she willingly leaves, but doesn't realize that she is walking into a kidnapping trap because the guy has duped her into being a safe escape from her worries there, right? Yeah. So Jackie Chan plays one of the Emperor's guards,
the bumbling guard,
who seems like he has a little bit more of a connection with her, special connection, because he overheard her. He's the one, he feels responsible because he didn't stop her when he found out that she was leaving. And so then 3 guards get assigned to rescue her because there is to deliver the ransom. Yeah. And he basically says, I'm going as well. Yeah. And so they end up going to Carson City, Nevada.
How'd you like that?
It was...
Oops. We have ice in our cups. Sorry.
That was... It was like, oh, that's really cool. And it doesn't look anything like it.
Because Shanghai Noon, even though it was supposed to take place in Nevada, was filmed in Calgary.
Alberta, Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they look completely different. I'm looking around, I'm like, no, this looks nothing like the terrain of Carson City at all.
So
it
buyer
was like,
beware.
Right?
It's
I'm
not
like,
what you see.
Lies. There's way too much green in that movie.
Right?
It looked
It's
more
too
like
gray, too.
Well, it looked like more middle of possibly some of the places in California where there's a little bit more green, still desert. But yeah, exactly. Way too much.
It wasn't a sagebrush.
Yeah, it needs to be many more fields of sagebrush. And the depiction of the mountains were hilarious because, he thinks he's going to Carson. He gets bad directions and then he starts climbing over mountains. And I didn't realize that was the bad directions at first. And I'm like, okay, so he says he's in Nevada. And then he's supposed to climb over mountains to get to Carson City. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense at all. Because there are mountains on one side of Carson and you are in California on the other side.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and these mountains don't look like them because guess what they are? They're the Rockies. Like, they're a little bit different than the Sierra Nevadas. So then when I find out there was bad directions, I was like, okay, so he ended up then somehow in California, and they were saying that somehow, and I don't know how they ended up back there, and it was just like all sorts of confusion. So
the movie's magic was gone because she knows the area. So there was no love for
How
that.
did he not come across Lake Tahoe if he was in Carson?
So, because she knows the area, the movie magic was gone and didn't make any sense.
But anyways, so then there was a train.
So what did you think of the movie in general, though? Like,
it was funny. I love watching Jackie Chan stunt-wise. It's fun.
I remember there being, like, apparently, I remember feeling like there was more stunts in the movie than there was.
Yes. I have not seen this movie in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, neither have I.
Wouldn't have been able to tell you about it.
Yeah.
Before watching it again. I thought there was more as well. Yeah. I felt like there was more action than there turned out to be.
It was a lot more of the buddy cop humor feel.
Yes.
Did this come up after Rush Hour?
That's a good question because I think, you know what, I realize, like, I remember very fondly of Rush Hour and watching that one, and I'm wondering if maybe I not like I confused the movies, but just put that in my head a little bit more of what was going on. So I think it came out afterwards.
So yes, let's just we're
gonna find out what year Shanghai Noon came out. Because I know that Rush Hour was in 98? 97, 98. Because I looked that all up because I was curious about Chris Tucker.
Yeah, to 2000.
2000, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's after it, which was...
Yeah.
But, it was funny. It took a little bit of that, like, oh yeah, I remember this movie, like the positive, and a little bit more like, okay. That was an old movie, and they did my hometown wrong, so I have to grade it down for that. I like that he never explained, though, how he got out of that sand hole.
And chopsticks.
I know, but I love that he just stuck with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense that he would have been able to do it by any means. So what happened? Yeah.
Well, there's the prequel. Now they need to make the mid-sequel.
What is a mid-sequel?
The spin-off sequel of that scene. A whole movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what are your thoughts on it then? Anything additional to my thoughts?
Well, I'm not nearly as mad about the train.
You're like, I could care less.
But I actually found myself kind of bored.
Yeah,
I was actually like, because like in my, I thought it was more action packed. Had some funny moments, but I was definitely like,
but yeah, it wasn't.
I was like, okay, waiting, because like there's that great scene where he's fighting in the woods, like that's the best thing.
Yeah.
And the bar fight, but like after that, I don't really remember a lot.
Yeah.
So on a scale of RADnesia, it did not live up to the expectations of my original youthful glow of radness.
So we're gonna watch the British one, whatever it is.
No. No. I do remember disliking Shanghai Nights.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. It was so funny. Because I was like, what about that one? No, we are not watching that.
No.
Maybe it'll be better.
No. We watched this.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to watch Rush Hour.
We watched this, and it was not nearly as cool as I remember.
I want to watch Rush Hour.
Especially because it had the cowboy song in it from Kid Rock.
Yeah, that ruined it a lot for me.
Right? Like, so that was in there. That was...
There was some weird, like, it's like they had music, but they didn't pay full licensing for it. Did you notice that? Like, some of the songs, like, because it wasn't the full song, it was like weird snippets of it.
I think it was just running on the train of like those bands being popular.
Yeah, it was like it was felt strange.
Well, anytime you throw in popular music with cowboys is weird.
I guess in a historical thing, yeah, you're right. It was jarring, and it was like,
yeah. All of a sudden, Aerosmith, I'm back.
Yeah, and yeah, it was weird. I think that
back in the saddle again.
It's jarring, right? Okay, why are we? No, we're good. Okay, so
you brought up the music, so
yeah, and I'm ending it. What else did we watch?
So you know what we've been wanting to watch? We wanted to watch Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, because after watching Camp Cretaceous and noticing that Camp Cretaceous and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom had a moment where they tie together, I wanted to see it again. And we actually had not watched Fallen Kingdom since we saw it in theaters.
Well, because Mike went to pull it off the bookshelf and realized that it was still wrapped in plastic.
Yep. Keeping it safe. Keeping it wrapped. Yeah, we bought it. And like now I don't even know when we bought it. I remember not being super happy with Fallen Kingdom. Having some, and that was a marketing thing as well. The marketing really kind of tarnished it for me.
Yeah.
So now that it's been 3 years since it came out, we rewatched it. So Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, RADnesia.
We're fancy.
Yeah, it's a fancy one because it's Jurassic World, so it's like more highbrow.
Well, I know, definitely after Shanghai Noon, definitely more highbrow.
Yeah, totally.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I really enjoyed it this time. Yeah. I still had some things, but not having any of that marketing.
There wasn't anger about it at all.
Yeah, I actually was just like in Dino Carnage heaven.
Right.
I actually had a lot of fun with it.
I was devastated with all the dinosaurs dying.
I think they were like bawling.
I remember being very upset about this as well, and I had to literally remind myself over and over again, this is natural because this would have happened if we weren't there. Natural disaster. Yes, they should never have been there in the first place, but still, natural disaster. We didn't go in and just murder all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, they didn't still send a kill squad.
Yeah, so I'm like, but they made it so freaking horribly sad with the Brontosaurus standing there on the dock and crying out with it. Was so heartbreaking. Like, seriously.
You know what I thought was funny too, though?
And then he says that. I think what's hilarious about that really sad scene.
Listen. Go ahead. Okay, so I thought it was interesting that there is Malcolm. He's saying like,
Let them die.
Let them die. Life is trying to balance itself. And then the senator's all saying, like, are you trying to say that God's trying to course correct? And Malcolm's like, whoa. I didn't say anything about God. Don't talk crazy to me. But literally, he could have appeased everyone, but like, yes, God's course correcting. But because he doesn't believe.
He can't do it.
I know.
Yep.
Right? So it's that idea where, like, he could legitimize. It's that white lie moment where you could legitimize what they're saying.
Well, because it's what they believe in the same concept of what you believe. It's just it's the idea of nature versus God.
Yeah.
Chaos and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he can't do it. And you're right.
I thought that was interesting.
He could have actually convinced them that, in what he's talking about is a force of nature. What they're considering that force of nature is just God.
Yeah.
And it's all the same thing in all reality.
Yeah.
But he brings it too much. Yeah. Oh, he shoots himself in the foot for sure.
Yeah.
Because even in the story, though, he's terrified of it and he thinks it shouldn't exist, but he also is very intrigued by it because it still fits the chaos theory concept, right? Where
so
it's
just thought that was a funny little moment where it was just like you literally had the moment where you could
them there. You had them, man.
Yeah. And then you were just like, no, whoa. So, but it is true. It's that idea that like all of a sudden this dormant volcano, and then it's like, no, these things shouldn't exist. I'm going to explode. Like, there's some force in that idea that the universe was correcting itself, like being like.
But we're humans and we try to control everything.
So I find the only thing I do find interesting is like this.
So now what we need to do next time is create a full man-made island that doesn't have those natural disasters, Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to take that problem out of it. Yeah. Oh. Then the ocean will swallow it whole.
Floating dinosaur island in the sky.
What could go wrong?
Right? Nothing could go wrong. So the thing I think was interesting is like how much, and it kind of is weird, how much this series parallels the original series, right? Because the first Jurassic Park, dinosaurs, yay, dinosaurs, everything's awesome, chaos, right? Mm-hmm. Theme park goes down. First Jurassic World, yay, dinosaurs, everyone's happy, yay, chaos, theme park goes down. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, hey, there's dinosaurs on an island, we need to bring them to the mainland because we want to start a zoo.
Yeah, you're right.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Hey, there's dinosaurs on the island. We want to save them and bring them to a natural habitat, but also sell them because for big game hunters. So we need to go to the island and save them and get them to run amok on the mainland. Same movie.
Just like Star Wars, they're just repeating the story.
Yeah, so it kind of scares me for the third one.
Yeah.
Right?
Because we're going to see a Jurassic Park 3 again.
So I like Jurassic Park 3.
No, I know. I had no problem with it.
I think because it's so simple.
It is.
I love how simple it was.
Yeah. Well,
it reminded me of like an episode of TV, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, yeah, I know. I don't have any problems with it.
But like, yeah, like, so the third one, but it makes sense because it's like Jurassic Park 3. We have to go save someone that's trapped with the dinosaurs. Literally everything we know about Jurassic Park Dominion, I think it's called. Is oh no, there's lots of dinosaurs. We're most likely going to try to save someone from the dinosaurs. We're gonna get
we're gonna get the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same story, just told a different way.
I did love the I don't remember it as well, written from before, but talking about Blue and him and the way his connection with her, and with that was the importance. I like that Dr. Wu was like he looked as a bad guy because he's just a crazy mad scientist, and the ice is really loud, but he is still. He's still frustrated because he's trying to push back on the people with just the money and without the care and the concern.
Yeah. He
still has a different approach to it. It's that concept where the scientists can't stop pushing boundaries, and it's that's the risk, and that's the whole problem with the theory with Jurassic Park is is it again, just because you can doesn't mean you should, because not everyone will understand the constraints that you have and the time that it takes. And I loved how he described it as art, though, and then how important he said that it was for it to have an imprint and a mother and a positive role. That's an important part of animals in general. And I love that whole scene. And they were talking about how, you know, with Blue showing the ability to have empathy and a connection. And I liked seeing that. It gave a more not just raptors are still terrifying, but still a different light to them. Mm-hmm. You know, that they didn't have to be. It's almost like the pit bull idea, right? Yeah. Whereas there's still the different, you never know for personality and their connection with their trainer and what it'll be, right? So.
No, what I want to know is how does Dr. Wu go from evil scientist in like Camp Cretaceous, because this is canon.
Yes.
And he's just a dick in that show.
Yeah, he is.
To how he was a bit more like, we need to test this, we need to work this, we need to make things perfect. Like, we can't screw up again. Like,
so what happened in that knock 3 him years? Down those?
Because when they get the Dominus fragment from the thing, that was a week after that was said to be a week after, or a couple weeks after. No, because it was more than that.
It was months.
Yeah, 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
6 months after the park closed. And then
it's 3 years.
3 years from that event.
Yeah.
So what happens, right?
Like who screwed him, and you know,
or how many people died around him for, you know.
Yeah.
I also do like the reaction of the auctioneer when like, we're giving you a sneak peek, blah blah blah, and they start like throwing money, and he's like, this is just a prototype, like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's not till that guy, like, I think he's probably the evilest villain of all the Jurassic Park movies.
Yep. He is cold.
You know, he just killed his boss that night.
Yep. That was so sad.
And then saw that he could make a ton of money on this thing, and just was like, no, sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it now.
Like, the thing is completely out of control. And then too, like, he's cold-hearted on every aspect. He fires the nanny as well right away. It's like he's somehow going to take care of this little girl too. Like, you were just horrible.
Hey, I just found out this guy's dead. You're supposed to be taking care of his granddaughter. Guess what? You're fired.
He's the epitome of elder abuse, basically. Of taking, weaseling your way into something and getting the trust and no one else being there to help out, right?
Yeah.
And he's really terrible.
Yeah, he's like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm hoping the mutant hybrids are done though for Dominion.
Yeah.
I hope we get just
some
basic,
old school regular dinosaurs.
Right. Just the old oldies, the classics from 1969. That's right, on Cup of Rad. Maybe we should start doing our podcast like that. We'll just pick a year.
Yeah.
And we'll just go we'll just DJ
some
it.
Of those ones.
Yeah. On tonight's Cup of Rad, we're watching People from Under the Stairs. Back from.
Nice. That'd be a top 10 to the list.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
1993, we got Jurassic Park, one of the top movies coming at you. Dinosaur action, hot, heavy, full of scales and screams.
See, Mike could go do radio. Look at that.
Right. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm not radio appropriate.
No. That's why we do the podcast. So you can just break into character whenever.
Break into your ear holes.
Yeah.
And say hello.
So overall, it was a positive experience.
Yeah, you know what? I actually enjoyed it. I think it's almost like all the Jurassic sequels. I'm just calling them the Jurassic sequels.
Ooh.
Even though like they're one of the oddities. Whereas like, even though like maybe I don't super enjoy them, I still enjoy them because there's just something about.
Because they're still dinosaurs.
Just a little kid in me's like, dinosaurs! Yay!
Right? Well, even like I like that line that she said. Do you remember the first time you ever saw one? It was like a mythical creature had come to life, and you just couldn't quite believe it, type thing.
Yeah.
And I think there's just enough of that positivity for people, and that's why this keeps going in their world, right? It keeps going on because we are still fascinated by it. I know by all means, the scientific side of me is going to be like, no, this is not okay. But the very curious, wondrous side of me, I'm like, oh my God, there's freaking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's why we get caught up in that, right?
Hey, do you think that Universal is actually going to be 100% truthful that Dominion's the last one?
No. If it makes them money, they'll keep going.
But like they said that this story's done. Like, do you think they'll like try to reboot it? I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
Because like they claim that like the next Fast and the Furious is the last one.
You know what they need to do then is they need to show that someone else was doing the same thing Hamid was. You could do something like that, right? Like,
I still think they could tell stories within the worlds that they had.
Totally.
Like little like those side movies, side sequels.
Side sequels?
Like side
there's so much more. I mean,
everyone loves a good side
I don't
boob,
know.
right? So
We're not quite
like,
sure. Hey. I'll take it if I need it, but it's not my first choice.
Yeah, this is not under boob.
I think there's more that they could do for sure. I mean, it's just proof with Camp Cretaceous that they've been able to tell this awesome story in a place that we would never have expected it to be. And, you know, what about the 3 years between that and Fallen Kingdom too? You know? I mean, what else is going on? Or were there extra dinosaurs that have escaped? Or, you know, Attack of the Pterodactyls. That's the word I'm looking for.
I don't know where you're going, but I was hoping it was going to be more fantastic than that. Attack of the Pterotatons.
Yeah, I did not say that.
Tatas.
What's up with you and boobs right now? I don't even have any out. Like, what's going on? There's no boobs behind me?
I like how you like look behind you like they were just.
Well, I was wondering, like, there's no action figures or anything, you know, just, you know, whatever.
It just rolled together with the T's. The is a tongue twister.
I got it.
A titty tongue twister. Right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, so you know what? I really actually enjoyed Fallen Kingdom. I was really surprised that I got a kick out of it because, you know, glad we broke it out of its plastic. And
yeah, right.
But so something else we checked out this weekend, I'd seen it on demand and I didn't want to pay $20 for it at the time. So we kept going. We waited and magically it showed up on Amazon Prime.
Woohoo!
That's right. Coming at you on Amazon Prime from 1960. It was called Boss Level. So Boss Level stars Frank Greeley, the guy that played Crossbones in the Captain America movies. And also Mel Gibson.
Yes.
So our last Mel Gibson podcast did amazing. So, you know, hey, Mel, give us a bump. I don't know why. So
I don't think Mel had anything to do with it.
So yeah, no, it's basically a video game version of a Groundhog Day feel.
Yeah, it's that concept of,
you know, I don't know why we call it Groundhog Day, because it was like the first one.
It was because it was the first one.
Days that repeat. It was a day that repeat movie.
Nice.
But so the idea is that
it's a time loop movie.
Okay. Oh, you can get fancy and just talking shit.
Day. Okay.
Day repeat movie.
Day repeat movie it is.
Day repeat movie.
Father's Day, day repeat movie.
I called dibs on day repeat movie.
Okay.
Time loop.
So it's a video game style.
Yeah, and it's the idea that he starts talking about how it jumps right into it. It's like day 100 and something.
Yeah, it just throws you right at it.
So he's like, you know, these guys are coming to kill me. This guy is coming to kill me. Blah, 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 blah. And it's pure action. It's actually directed by the guy that did the A-Team.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And The Gray and some other ones like that. So he's basically finding out that his ex-wife did something.
She was a
scientist and infected him with something to make him time loop.
Nice.
repeat the same day over and over again.
Yes.
So, but this one, he learns and he starts learning things so it was ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
It wasn't fantastic. I had fun with it that I remember.
And it showed for him, though, it was like every repeat day movie. Yeah. It was about growth and change, right? And that concept of, because we're so afraid of messing up or, not being able to figure things out and move past obstacles that we maybe don't get to really see that growth. And it was about him making connections to his son and being able to move forward in life.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't so much of him like having some magical epiphany to be able to move on, but it was coming to the point that he could actually make the choice that would help him move on. Right?
Yeah.
But he had to move through a whole lot of obstacles. But a lot of it was not just emotional or mental blocks. It was actual physical people that he had to get around.
Yeah.
Because there was lots of
carnage and death.
It was like a mix of Happy Death Day and Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it's like, I know you didn't see the trailer for it, but like all the action was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? And it was all the boring bits that was in the movie that was left over. So I was
a little bombastic feeling like it was going to be. And
I thought it was going to like keep up that intensity, and it faltered a bit.
Yeah.
It was still kind of fun.
Yeah.
But, out of everything that we watched besides like the regular TV, I think it was really the Fallen Kingdom I enjoyed the most. It was the most kind of fun to watch and see. Besides the cartoons, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I got nothing really else to say about Boss Level. Like it had some cool action scenes at the beginning. Like the beginning, it started out so good, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then it just faltered.
It was interesting because it started out almost like I thought it was going to be a more video game feel.
Yeah.
Because it lays it out like a Street Fighter arcade game type thing where you're picking your characters and their verses and you're kind of
I thought we were going to see that more.
Yeah. And then it was just basically like, no, here's your fleet of bad guys and they all come after and try to kill me each day.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I thought there'd be more. I thought, okay, well, is she her science department or whatever that she's researching, is it going to be some more of a connection to video games or other than the kid in the arcade aspect? Like that kind of fell down. I'm like, oh, okay, apparently it's nothing to do with video games at all,
right?
So
that's why I was a little disappointed. Like, so maybe don't go watch it.
No, it was still fun. It was still interesting.
Weird.
But I wish that even if throughout the middle of it, each time he kind of conquered one of the villains and learned how to get past them, if it had a bit more of a video game like level up, now is the boss level, like bring that back to it. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, now you beat this level, and now okay, how many times? Because you think about it like a video game, right? How many times I keep going a little bit farther because I learned from that mistake, and then I keep going a little bit farther now because now I can get to this villain, and now I got it. Okay, now I finally hit boss level, right? So it plays out like a video game. But any mention of it is only central at the beginning, and then it just goes away.
Disappears. See, the forgotten threads.
Right.
Forgotten ideas. Yeah. So, no.
One thing we forgot to talk about, though?
What?
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty came back.
And you know what? Because I'm looking at our list, and I'm like, what was one of the things like I really liked? And you know what was Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
I haven't liked a Rick and Morty episode for a while. This one was really
Last season
good.
was really dry. Like, I barely remember last season.
Yeah.
Season 4 was like a blur.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like the Ghastly year of Community, where it's like, you laughed a bit, but then you're like, why?
Yeah.
Right? So, this episode was solid.
Yeah. Like, it reminded me of, like, original Rick and Morty.
Yeah, like the original 15-minute Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, because, like, it was, like, had the ridiculousness, and then it had that, like, sub-deep story.
Right?
That was, like, super dark, really fast.
Super heart-wrenching. Like, I felt so bad. And it was that effect of, one little thing that you do, you never know how much it affects someone else. Yeah. Right? And it was just so sad.
I love that, it was Jessica, right?
Yes.
you know, that basically that like her character is done now. Like,
I'm a time lord.
Right? Like she was like
she called
no.
her the time god or something, right?
Yeah, I'm a time goddess.
Yeah.
But like that idea, she's like, no, I'm not part of your story. I need to write my own story. I'm not anyone's thing anymore.
Yeah. And
right?
she was just like, mic dropped out.
Right? And it was just like, whoa.
I mean, just Morty can just let go of her now.
Yeah.
Because now he knows.
Yeah.
You will never get her.
Yeah.
You tried. You failed.
Yeah.
Miserably. Move on.
You got her cocooned in a chrysalis and she was sent to
for thousands of years
watching things rise and fall in front of her eyes. Like,
she's the time goddess now.
Right?
So, yeah, all for some wine.
Yeah.
Because he touched the ocean.
Because he touched the ocean. See? There's consequences, dude. Consequences everywhere.
Yeah. Look at that.
So, but no, I was really excited for that. Like, that turned out really good.
It was a, really solid episode.
Yeah.
That
made me excited for the season. I'm like, yeah.
I'm like,
next
sweet,
episode?
Rick and Morty's back.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was good. So we finally got to find out that the Spawn figures finally decided to have releases.
This morning was interesting.
It was heartbreaking. I go ahead. I'm on my phone before I leave to work, and I saw that some tweets, and I was like, Katie, Gunslinger Spawn, you see this shit?
He says that there was a tweet, there was a text, and then he comes in and Katie, look at this. Shows me his phone. What? Look at this crap. What? Target exclusive Spawn.
The Gunslinger.
He's like, what the hell is this?
It cut me deep.
He was stressed about it all morning.
Because
that's okay.
I'm still stressed about it. Like,
I still don't trust Target.
Fools. You know, your mom was able to kindly order it for us because we couldn't order it up here
for connections to the States.
Right, being in Canada, it wouldn't let us go past a certain point.
Yeah.
Because I tried. I was going to figure it out on my own. I was at work and I was like, I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to order my Gunslinger. Luckily, the others are available elsewhere, so that'll be good. So I've already talked to Torturers a bit, and they say they're going to be getting Violator, so I at least got connections that I can get my Violator.
Yeah.
So I can violate the shit out of it.
Because that was already, the pre-order was already sold out, but my mom...
But yeah, so she's able. So I hope that Target doesn't pull any sneak and cancel anything, because they've been known to do that, right? So
until it's actually in my mom's hands, you won't.
No, I don't trust it. I don't even trust if she gets an email that says it shipped. I don't trust it.
You have 2 months of stressful living right now coming up.
It's gonna be like your mom's gonna have to message you and take. I want proof of life.
I want proof of life. Yeah.
She's gonna have to take a photo of it and be like, with her.
Yeah.
You're like, I have this, and then I will believe it.
I would like to make sure we remember this.
What?
And then when she says the package has arrived, I want proof of life. And just see if she understands what is happening.
On it. It's like the kidnapping movie.
Yeah.
Is it there? I want proof of life. Put Spawn on the phone. How do I do that? Take a picture.
No, live video, man. Live video.
Yeah.
I want to see you talking with the toy next to you.
That's what's gonna have to be.
This is what has happened, McFarlane. Look what you have done.
But see, then it's it's there. It's not here, and then it's even more it's forever. Everything is forever. Toy collecting has actually become less fun. It's really sad, actually.
It's super stressful.
It's become really hard because difficult to get things, and you've got to pre-order things, and then then there's the exclusives, and you don't know if you're going to be able to get those. Yeah. And I talked to
gone are the days when you just casually found something in a store,
right? You walk in and you're just like, whoa, is that oh snap, I just found this in the store, I need to buy this, remember when we actually used to bop into any Toys R Us we could find, and we would actually see things that were of interest, right? Or you don't even know what you're looking for, and you'd walk through a store and you'd be like, and be like, oh, I didn't know this was out.
Yes, a surprise.
Oh my goodness.
And that's a pro and a con now of knowing so much ahead of time. Is there's no stumble upon something.
Yeah, it's like
You have to know ahead of time, and you have to have pre-ordered it, and you have to be on top of the ball and beating everyone. You can't be late to the party.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the thing that makes it hard is that, it's like that hobby for being able to have those things that you enjoy. And then like now there's just like this like stress, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah.
Hopefully it all goes well. Because, the reason why I was more stressed too was because, like, the deluxe Mandarin hasn't even gotten a Canadian release yet, and literally EB Games is GameStop.
And they have most of them.
They always, mirrored, they always get mirrored. So that's kind of the weird thing, and we don't have a Target, so.
Yep.
And
nor can we get to one even.
Some Targets have exclusives go to TRU, but not all of them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't like this whole exclusive thing. It should, for a basic, if it was a variant figure, a different thing, that's what
they should do. Variant figure.
Yeah.
Variant and add accessories.
Well, like
all the way.
I have a problem with a Hot Topic exclusive because they always have them.
Oh, yeah.
And
then like 6 months down the road, they'd be like, hey, we just found more. So a year later.
And that's the thing. Then that's okay because, it's something that will drive them into the store.
Yeah.
But then it's going to constantly drive you into the store. It's like, oh, there's exclusives. I can keep looking back there. It's not like, oh, well, it sold out within 2 hours. Why should I even bother going in there now, right? Or it never even touched the store because everything was online only.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem is it's one thing if it was there for like some hardcore collectors and an extra type of thing. But to really have them as exclusives that are not readily available is just so frustrating.
Yeah. And especially on a line like that too. Like that was the thing that was really heartbreaking to see.
Well, they
to be like, well, it's like you only have like 3 7-inch figures in the line, and then you have 2 of deluxe and a mega. So, like, why do that?
It's sad.
And like,
Todd, you cut us deep.
Yeah, I really did. Come on, like, you're Canadian. Like, give us some love. We should be
Canada first.
Yeah, right. You should just like come in and give Canada like the best exclusive and be like, take that, suckers.
I like it.
Just like that too, those words.
Yeah.
Those words. Take that, suckers. Well, you know what was interesting? They dropped the look at their Avatar figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I could see, I didn't see a lot of positivity from comments from people.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, they went to Walmart, pre-order, and it sold out, and they had to like send out another announcement. There'll be more in August. Like, we'll make sure that it's not, we'll do another run.
Because even if, I'm sorry, I'm going to knock people that might be one of those people. I'm sorry, but you know what? They'll sit there and complain, and yet they'll still need to buy it because they still need to review it or they still need to have it, and they just,
FOMO, right?
I understand that we are collect people and we want to be able to see something, and I can understand that concept of like just needing to have something because we've had our phases of going through that, but you've never bought something that you had previously complained in anger about. Mm-hmm. It's always been like, yeah, I'm not really sure about it. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, it's really awesome, But to be like, what the hell is this crap and blah, blah, blah. But I need it. I need it because if I can't, that's a whole nother level of addiction right there. Let's be honest,
Well, it's like I look at the new Masters toys and I don't know if I'm super happy about them, but I like, and then I probably won't, right? But no. But twisting onto a positivity thing, I posted on Instagram. I gotten some Pokemon cards from Theo at Insane Dragon Ball, and I wanted to say thank you to him.
Big thank you.
Because he was able to find me a card that I've been dying to have something about. It is my favorite Pokemon. Don't know why. I just friggin' love the look of this thing. The design of it is just perfect.
Just speaks to you.
And it totally speaks to me. And I still want to get a plushie of it. Or I'd love a pop if they ever do it. But Chespin. So Theo at Insane Dragon Ball was able to find me a Chespin Pokemon card. Mm. And he signed on the sleeve and all that. And it was really, really heartwarming.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. Like, I'm really excited to have that. And it's going to be one that I probably find a way to display, not just in Kiddo's book.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right? Because, And his little chest's been eating like jelly beans, like,
and it's all sparkly and it's adorable.
So thank you so much, Theo. And another shout out I got to give, because I've been listening to his music a lot on Spotify.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bell. He does a lot of Superman cosplay, and he's done a lot of astronaut cosplay recently. He usually would go by the Seattle Superman hashtag for the longest time. But he's living his best life being a creative individual out there, taking pictures in Superman costumes and in Doctor Strange costumes and all that. But he actually has on Spotify, he's created some music, and I've been playing his one album in the morning.
Yeah, we listen to it every morning now.
It's a great kind of just like really mellow start to your day. I want to say exactly what it is. I don't want to. It's called don't want the music to play. It's going to play anyway. I do want the music to play. I do. It's called A Good Day. It's got a little red cardinal listening to music as its picture. So it's Jonathan Bell, Belle. He's got that one. He's got Cruising the Grid, and he's got a meditation.
I gotta listen to Cruising the Grid.
Right. So
I need to remind, because I try to listen to just more instrumental stuff at work when I'm trying to focus, and I got to remember that because I need something new right now.
Yeah, so it's totally worth it to listen to, because it's just kind of that mellow, just like background. Like when I was doing all my resume stuff and all that, I was listening to Cruising the Grid, and I was like, focus. So big shout out to him for creating that and everything. So.
There you go.
And with that,
all that stuff we just crammed into this.
Yeah, right. We just,
it's insane.
And I gotta give a few more hollows out there. Simon at the Brew Pill. I haven't talked to him for a while on here, but he had dropped a podcast episode a little bit ago. It was really cool to see him catching up on all that. So it's great hearing from him. And just the checkup on everybody. Hope everyone's doing well.
The world is changing rapidly, and
and keeping safe, but still having a good time and being your most authentic self. Staying rad. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Stay rad, dudes.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!